Good evening. My name is Rachel Smith, and I'm with the NSU Library Media Program. And I am here as a library candidate to talk about an initiative that my school, West Elementary, has started about 3 years ago or even more, with the initiative to create lifelong learners with more inquiry-based learning and global mindedness. Let's take a look at my PowerPoint. Let's see if I can make it bigger. There we go. This program is called the IB, International Baccalaureate Primary Years Program, and I'm going to show you tonight on how the library program can support these initiatives through IB. So the mission statement for IB with Jenks West Elementary is, as an international baccalaureate candidate school, is to develop inquiring lifelong learners through integrated learning experiences and authentic assessments. JWE students are working to create a better world for tomorrow through caring, taking action, and global understanding. So as a librarian, it's my job to provide the resources, provide the space and expertise in order to give these children the opportunity to practice these skills. And most importantly, it's to model for them of what inquiry learning is in global mindedness. So through this PowerPoint, I'm going to show you some examples and some data from the articles and PowerPoints that I read and studied for this initiative. So here we go. All right, the initiative, like I said in the beginning, is inquiry-based learning and global mindedness. So inquiry, and so how we get the children to go past the traditional question answer learning and memorization into just how they can manage their own learning and make their own questions and findings on their own and take that into the next through their whole lives. And then we have global mindedness, which gets them out into the world to make an impact and that they're ready for society and to take on whatever comes at them. So I have some really cool examples with that. All right, inquiry-based learning is, like I said before, it's going from factory production modeled students to creative, innovative learners. So they're going beyond just the cookie cutter student that says, okay, what's the capital of Alaska? Juneau. But now instead of that, they go into maybe some issues within Alaska that they can research and maybe find solutions for, or they can go off their own wonderings about Alaska and research them themselves. And then inquiry-based learning allows students to make determinations about the problems, challenges, issues they investigate, helping move students toward meaningful engagement and deeper learning. So it's just going past the kind of like that multiple choice test and into real life learning. So as you can see this picture over here, the pencil, I absolutely hated those. So it gives them an environment to, that wasn't good, to inquire, play, and learn together. So a lot of collaboration and working together. All right, students are better able to tap into the inquiry-based learning when they are motivated with personal interest. So that's another thing that I plan as a librarian to support is student interest. And I really like this quote on the side here. It says, student choice is more than simply picking a task. It's about owning the entire learning process. And that's what happens when they can choose what they want to study. Teachers and librarians are urged to get together to provide academic opportunities to leverage student interests. So I plan on collaborating with you guys so we can get their interest going and find opportunities that they'll love to work on. So how we do this is student choice. Let them have more of a choice in what they learn instead of just giving something that they have to do. Global mindedness. I really like this initiative because it takes learning beyond the classroom. So here we have, what is it? According to IBO, it's the people who, in recognizing their common humanity and shared guardianship of the planet, help to create a better and more peaceful world. And the 21st century education describes these students as change agents, and it can be done locally or internationally. So a really cool example of this is Miss Cleary's third grade class had a student. She had the idea to maybe, instead of having a party for Valentine's Day, they decided to do Valentine's Dog Day donation to those puppies and canines that need help and don't have a home, maybe at the pound, so they have food for them. And you can see on the table here, there are just treats and toys. And that was the little girl that came up with the idea. And there's an invitation. It says it's time to potty. Come celebrate Valentine's Day. And that was really neat to see. And so instead of giving themselves cookies, they gave them to these animals in need. Also, I really like Hart's Ladder of Children's Participation. I read this in one of my articles. And it's basically where instead of the teacher and child are learning separately, they come together and they learn together. And that's the whole, that's a big idea in the IB-PYP program. So it says, this quote says, if teachers are prepared to peer inside the boxes with their students, who knows what treasures may be found. And then you can see at the ladder, we go from 1 to 8. So 1 starts with manipulation. Adults are using people to support their own projects and pretend they are the results of young people's inspirations. And then at the top is 8, young people initiative decisions made in partnership with adults. I think that's really, really cool how that works and how adults and children can go along side by side within this program in learning. Global Mindedness Exhibition. So here's some more examples that I have for you of how we can get the children to be into the world as change agents. And example 1 says, after learning about animal habitats, students gave money to various organizations that aid the protection of animal habitats. So they're donating to organizations, making a change there with their money. And then example 2, 4th graders make a brochure on recycling or start a program that promotes recycling. So they can do that within the school and the community. And example 3, Spanish teacher and school librarian purchase materials that integrate the planners and are written in Spanish. So in that way you can get the international language that they're learning into the school and practice with that. All right, so the librarian's role in PYP. School librarians with IB classroom experience are more likely to be effective managers in information selections and use an overall inquiry-based curriculum. So IB is very supportive of inquiry-based curriculum. It's all over what we learn. And here's a brochure that I have. And this inquiry is just like the foundation of their learning. And then resources enhance inquiry units through collaborations with local library and online resources or sources. So as a librarian, I plan to give those resources that back up the inquiry learning and global mindedness and go with the IB program. The collection should have a variety of cultural viewpoints, genres that support the program, such as classic, journals, nonfiction, and fiction. So maybe I could provide some literature that have examples of students that are changing the world, or examples of the attitudes that JWE focuses on, like independence, tolerance, cooperation, enthusiasm. So that have to go with the PYP program. And the librarian's role in the PYP, provide teachers with their own resources, space, time, and expertise. For example, you could have a teacher's workspace for us to come together and collaborate on the PYP program in ways we can give more learning opportunities to the students. The library program provides a learning environment that nurtures student learning that focuses on inquiry and IB principles and lifelong learning. For example, we have a Wonder Wall, and this is on Building F's 3rd and 4th grade media center. You can see through the glass, and on it, it says Inquiry Minds. I just did a section of it since it was really long. And on this little wall, they have Post-it notes of questions and wonders that they have. So I really like that idea and how they can implement that in the library. All right, so along with resources, we can go with the IB initiatives. You can do read-alouds that demonstrate learning profiles. Like I said before, risk-taking units of inquiry like migration and journey. So I have those units, and then I can grab resources for you to use in your classroom that go along with them. And then a detailed blog post and parent sessions, letting parents in on the skills we teach and resources we use so that they can support them at home. So this can be through the monthly newsletter that go to parents or on our media website that parents can access. And then we have model. So as a librarian, I plan on modeling these